Hey y'all, Tia Skipper here. It's late, but I wanted to share this for whoever it's for, whoever wants to take from it. It can really change your life and your status in relationships. This is what I want to say. This is for the men, but it may apply to women too. When a woman comes to you, well, I'll use myself. When I come to a man that I may be dating or maybe in a relationship with, and I say, hey, this is something that bothers me, or I position myself to be vulnerable to say how I feel in terms of what's not working. The issue that I am finding with the men is that it's being met with frustration. Now, I can understand if I was yelling and screaming and accusatory. But me sharing my experience of you and us dating or us talking or in a relationship is my right to do. And anyone who cares about you should want to know how you're making them feel. And they should care about what your experience is with them. Because they should want you to have a good experience, right? But I'm finding that it's being met with, the feedback is being met with frustration. And in my opinion, it is a sign of lack of wisdom in that area. I'm not saying you don't have wisdom, not saying you're not smart, but in this area, this is where you need to grow. Why? Because feedback is the best thing that could ever happen to you. Companies spend millions of dollars to get people to do surveys. They spend millions of dollars to have people test out new products or things that they're thinking about introducing into their company just to get your feedback. They want to know, did you like it a little bit, a lot? Would you tell a friend? Would you tell nobody? Would you never work with us again? Like, they want to know everything. They want feedback so bad that before you get off the phone, they say, hey, if you just got 3 seconds of your time, would you do this survey for us? Because what they know for sure is if they can find out what would make you leave, they can do something to make you stay. And not only could they do something to make you stay, if they fix that with you, 9 out of 10 times there's somebody else who could potentially have the issue you had. And so not only are they making amends with you for maybe the encounter you had with them that you didn't like, they're also making sure they don't make this same mistake with somebody else coming along the line. So they're able to maintain their relationship with you as a company and bring on new customers with a greater guarantee that they'll be able to maintain that based off of your feedback. What am I saying? I'm about to bring it on home. When you are getting feedback, and this don't just apply in relationships, this applies in every single thing. If every time you get feedback, you're meeting it with frustration, with an attitude, with pointing fingers, with, well, I didn't, without with defending the actions that are being told to you is not enough. It's not wisdom. And you are missing an opportunity to maintain that relationship and acquire new ones and be able to keep them. You're missing the opportunity of wealth and abundance and all the things we say we want. You say you want love. You say you want new friends. You say you want to be happy. You say you want all things that require maintenance, all things that require people, all things that require growth and change. Listen, when I went to college and my teacher handed me that syllabus, most of the things that were required of me, I didn't know how to do it yet. And so instead of when you're being met with feedback, instead of being frustrated, take ownership that the frustration you may be feeling is the fact that you know deep down you don't know how to do what's being asked of you. That's different than making a person feel bad for telling you the truth of their experience with you. Because they have a right to tell you that. They have a right to say, ouch, that hurts when you do that. They have a right to say, hey, I love what we're doing here. I love we're having a good time. But this right here, I don't really like that. It makes me feel. They have a right to do that. Because this is their life that they're responsible for, right? And because they want to keep you in their life. That's why they're giving you the feedback. People who don't care, keep it moving. You'll never know what you did wrong because they already hit the deuces. You feel what I'm saying? So back to the analogy. When a person is giving you feedback and you meet it with frustration, what's really happening is, for a lot of y'all, you're really frustrated that you don't know how to do it, and or you're frustrated that this ain't the first time you heard it. And 9 out of 10 times, it ain't the first time you heard it. Everybody ain't wrong. And so when you can sit in the seat and say, you know what? Here, let me give you an example of what your response should or could be. You know what? I hear what you're saying, and I'm feeling frustrated as you're saying it. But I feel that the reason why I feel frustrated is because it makes me feel like what I'm already doing is not enough, and that what you're asking for, I don't know how to do it. Do you see how much, like, the area of growth where a person could work with that? Do you see how there's levels of conversation you can have around that, where the person may even go deeper into showing you or telling you how to do certain things, but you just want to be right. You're not right. You wouldn't be getting the feedback if you were doing it right. You're not right. And even when you are doing right, you should still want feedback. Like I said, companies are spending millions of dollars for people to do surveys. Some of y'all get paid to do surveys. If you signed up for it, you get paid to give your opinion. These companies are already, or the founders of these companies, the CEOs of these companies are already multi-millionaires, are already billionaires. But what do they know? If I want to stay here, I gotta stay in conversation with the people that I am serving or that I am in relationship with. I have to make sure that what I think I'm doing is actually happening on the other side. I need to make sure that what I think is a good idea is coming across as a good idea to the person that's experiencing this item, service, product, or person. I have to make sure of it. So if companies who are billion-dollar companies doing well are still surveying after every single order, what makes you think you don't need to think twice when somebody brings something to your attention? How arrogant is that? And it really, and to me, the definition of arrogance is hidden insecurity. How insecure, how unchecked of an insecurity is that? We all have insecurities, but that is unchecked when somebody is bringing something to your attention. You know it's not the first time you heard it, yet you're going to flip this thing like they said something wrong or did something wrong to you. Out of line. And this is why you will still be in a prayer line or still be writing for the next new year that you want relationships and won't have them. You can't keep them. You can't even take the feedback that comes with maintaining them. Feedback is necessary. It is the way that you take the temperature of something to make sure that it is at a constant, healthy state. Period. Nobody's perfect. When you come into a relationship with new people, or you come into just period, when you're in relationship with people, we weren't raised the same. We have different beliefs. We do things differently. Different things happen to you and I. So how I may be experiencing you or what I may think I'm doing, it may show up differently for you. It may be a different trigger for you. It may just be different. The feedback is to let you know where you are. It's not to tell you what you're not going to be, what you can't do, that you're not good enough. It is to let you know where you are. You can go anywhere from here. But if your attitude is frustration, you don't want feedback, you're not open to it, you're not open to relationships. You're open to being around people where you're in control, you're on a pedestal, and everybody else around you better just like what you're giving and what you're doing. How dare you? And then you wonder why you don't have a friend to call or a man to rub. And this applies to females too. You wonder why you don't have it. It's because when you were given the feedback, instead of looking at that as an opportunity to become a billionaire in that relationship, you cussed them out. You flipped the story. You started to throw jabs. Instead of just saying, you know what? I feel triggered. And it may not be that you said something wrong. I just feel myself being triggered and I don't want to say anything offensive. So give me a minute to process what you've brought to me. That's how you handle it. I'm about to drop the phone. That's how you handle it. That's how you handle it. Because let me tell you what I'm not going to do. Let me set the phone down so you can get a clear understanding. Let me tell you what I'm not going to do. I will not spend time on people, relationships or friendships, intimate or other, where they are still choosing pride over progress and growth. If you don't understand that feedback is just as normal as taking a shower. Some of y'all ain't showering, so that's why I have to make this point. If you don't understand it, it's just as natural as when you get off the phone with Chase and they ask you if you got 3 seconds to do this survey. If you don't understand that it's just as natural as all that spam in your email asking you to do just this quick questionnaire, if you don't understand that it's just as natural, then understand this. You're going to find yourself in a space where you are watching people have friends and you are watching people have experiences and you are watching people belly laugh and you are watching businesses blossom and you are watching all the things you wanted for yourself but do not have the capacity to maintain because you won't take the feedback. And some things are as simple as, okay, done. When somebody say, hey, I don't like the way you talk to me, or I don't like the way you said that. And your response is, all I said was, why does that even matter? That they didn't ask you what you said. They said the way you said it to me. If I'm just a different person, a random person on the street, and you don't care about my feelings, say that. But if you talk about some you love me or we friends or you matter to me, and I come to you and I say, hey, the way you said that made me feel disrespected, that does need to be a conversation. And let me tell you how the conversation should not start. All I said was, Because for me, the conversation, we're done right there. We're done right there. Because you don't have to be me, but we do have to have the same rules of engagement when it comes to our heart. And had you come to me and said, hey, I know you may not have meant it this way, but when you said this, it kind of hurt my feelings. You know what my response to you would have been? And this is the interesting part. We don't even have to be close. You could be somebody I'm just responsible for. You could be one of my staff. You could be one of my residents. You could be, somebody who met me in passing. But my response would be, that hurts me to hear that what I said hurt your feelings. That was not at all my intentions. And if you would allow me to say what I meant better. Because I would never want to hurt your feelings. I care about you. If I'm giving a word of correction and a person says, ooh, that was harsh, allow me to tell you, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I meant to care about your future and your behavior. And it's not my intention to handle you poorly. It was only my intention to communicate what needed to be addressed. I apologize. You hear that? Come on, somebody. I apologize that hurt your feelings. It was not my intention. Ask me what that cost me. Nothing. It don't cost me nothing. But it cost me not to do that because that's outside of my character not to do that. I wouldn't be able to sleep knowing that. But see, the issue is some of y'all can sleep. You can sleep. No, you didn't cut a rug. You done hurt people's feelings, left them on red, ghosted, did all kind of stuff. And you don't feel no way about it. But that's okay because feedback first comes verbally. And then your life is going to give you feedback. And let me say what that looks like. Then I'm going to let y'all go. Okay? The feedback comes in the form of grace first. And the grace is where people tell you, because everybody ain't going to tell you messed up. They're just going to fire you or let you go. So for somebody to say it, knowing it's a risk that you will not validate their feelings or that this could cause confrontation, for somebody to risk the most uncomfortable thing that most people don't like, which is confrontation, to tell you what their experience of you was, that is grace. Because they're giving you an opportunity. They're revealing it. They're showing you. They're telling you to give you an opportunity to make it right so that they don't have to walk away from you. Some people just walked away from you. You still mad about that. You still hurt about it. I just don't know why she left. Because you didn't take her feedback. Okay. And so it first comes verbally through grace. Okay. Okay. And so all these years of people telling you, and you don't take it, then life gives you feedback. How does life give you feedback? I'm so glad you asked that question. This is the way that life gives you feedback. You start to see, nobody's inviting me to anything. I know they got my number. I just saw them yesterday. I didn't know they was having a New Year's Eve party. That's real crazy. Or I just don't know why I'm single. Like, I just feel like I have so much to offer. To who? Because you're the only one who thinks you're the blessing. Everybody else is dodging you and you don't even know it. But life will give you that feedback. You'll just start to see what's not there. You'll just start to see what's no longer available. You'll start to see the difference from when you had a roster of people you could talk to, or you had a large amount of customers, and now you barely making enough to pay for your domain. That's life showing you now. Because that ain't a conversation. That's results. So I'm going to end this here and just say, whether it's dating, business, babies, families, or people, when somebody offers you feedback and you feel that thing and you about to jump to get defensive or defend yourself or tell your side of the story, even though you didn't even bring up the conversation, remember it is an opportunity. And everybody don't give you the grace to fix things. But when people bring it to you, they're saying, I am giving you the opportunity to fix this before I fix it myself. Because the way I fix it is I leave. Amen?